Hey everyone, and welcome to the top 5 military surplus rifles under $500 in 2022. Of course, I'm Mike B, and I'm going to give you a couple little caveats for context before we get started. So all you incels that go, oh, the video starts at whatever, he's blathering, waffling for the first couple minutes. It's actually necessary because I'm going to explain the current state of things and why I'm making these decisions. And then I'm going to talk about each rifle and all that stuff as we go. So every year that I've been making these videos, these lists, it gets very, very difficult because prices are constantly fluctuating, going up mostly. Some of them stay the same, and ammo availability and all that stuff, which is pretty even across the playing field. So it makes that part easier than it did last year, or the year before that, when ammo was available, but guns were expensive, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there are still some deals out there for people that are either just getting into the hobby or don't have super deep pockets to get at least one military surplus rifle or firearm under $500, which I think is okay, comparable to modern firearms and all that stuff. Once you get past that, you start just buying it for the collectability, I think, and that sucks because the hobby used to be both, but I've made so many videos and I'm not going to go over that again to spare you guys. Anyway, I've chosen 5 rifles in my collection that are available, and again, I don't use Gunbroker or primary sources like Classic Arms, J&G Sales, and other places that have extremely high prices on their firearms. I go by an aggregate of looking at private auction houses and stuff online, person-to-person sales, FFL to FFL or private sales within the state, anything that's legal. Just kind of looking at that, observing. I'm trying to aggregate. This is going to be for the United States. I know every year I get, well, it's this much in Canada. This is just for the United States. I'm a U.S. citizen, so we're going to be going with that market. I know prices are different in other places, but this is just kind of what we're doing for this. So, yeah, that's what I've been noticing. And although prices are creeping up, some of these things are still available. And like I said, ammo availability is pretty universal across the board, where it means it's hard to get it and it's very expensive if you can find it. So again, that makes it easier this year. Now, we'll get to it. The number 5 choice has not actually been on our list until this year, and it is the Swiss Model 1889 Schmidt-Reuben repeating rifle, chambered in 7.5 by 53.5. It's not the 7.5 by 55. You need to load your own rounds for this and trim down the casing just a tad. For it to be safe, you need to underload it. GP11 will wear and tear this thing and possibly cause a catastrophic failure. I would not recommend shooting anything but hand loads that you have researched diligently from credible sources in this rifle. That being said, a lot of these rifles are going to be, you're going to be better off getting ammo or making ammo yourself if you reload. Again, get credible sources and know what you're doing. I'm not saying just go and load up stuff. You need to know what you're doing before that. But that being said, it's not impossible. If I can do it, you can learn how to do it too. So this Schmidt-Reuben Model 1889 repeating rifle, these things have been going for between $350 and $450 depending on condition. I've got a couple of these that I've acquired over the years. They're really cool. I actually haven't fired one yet. I'm going to probably do that once I get the reloading stuff set up this summer. Make some videos on it. These things are awesome. It's a nice straight pull action. It's got the 6-round magazine. Yeah, it's 6 rounds. And this was the first repeating rifle in the Schmidt-Reuben series that actually was adopted. A lot of history to it. I know it's Switzerland. They're not in any wars, but they have good equipment. This thing was way ahead of its time, in my opinion. So yeah, for the amount of money that this is, and the amount of history and all that stuff, and they're actually available a couple times a year. A couple batches will come in. Some places have them consistently. They're a little bit more expensive, but you know exactly what you're getting, blah, blah, blah. And for that, that's going to be our number 5 pick on the top 5 military surplus rifles under $500 in 2022. Unique one. I really like it. If you don't have one of these, they're great to have in the collection. Great wall hanger too if you want to put it above the fireplace or something like that. And these are antiques, so they do not require an FFL. You need to be 18 or older and know your local and state laws. So that's what I like about these, and they're still relatively affordable. And if you can get the ammo and reload for it and make your own stuff, it's a nice deer rifle for sure. Schmidt-Reuben rifles are known for their accuracy and reliability, so this is a nice rifle. That is our number 5. Just because of the ammo availability, I had to put it at the number 5. Now we'll move on to our number 4 pick. Number 4 on the list is the Swedish M96 Mauser rifle, chambered in 6.5 by 55 millimeter. So these things are fantastic, and I've been seeing them still retailing for between $350 and $500, and I would pay that for these any day of the week, just given the caliber and the craftsmanship and the ergonomics of this rifle. These things are my favorite Mauser variant ever produced from any country, anywhere, anytime. I know Henry from Nine Horror Reviews just got his and has been making videos on that, and it's his favorite Mauser variant now too. I've been talking about that, and yeah, no, he isn't influencing the price that much. Trust me, there are far more egregious offenders of that on YouTube. But these things are still affordable and available, and a lot of people are complaining about the ammo availability, which again is pretty universal. Pretty Partisan makes this stuff commercially, and it's pretty good ammunition. I've been using it for years, and hopefully eventually when this situation ever improves, we can get it for less than $1 a round again, and then if you reload, you've got the nice casings and all that stuff to cast bullets or whatever, which these things do like, and whatnot. So yeah, the ammo for these is available. It's just a little bit pricey right now. But the rifle itself, very mild recoil, extremely accurate. Sights are very easy to use. Handles very well. You've got the nice, the 96 action, which is pretty unique. It's got this cocking piece with the knurled edge on it, so you can pull it back if you don't have a round fire properly, and you can also release the cocking piece if you want to have it on safe or whatnot. So yeah, this is a fantastic rifle, and I just cannot say enough about it. The only reason it's number 4, not higher, is just because of the price point. It's getting a little bit higher each and every year. It creeps up. But I highly recommend, if you don't have one of these in your collection or you're just starting out, this would be a great first choice. I will never get rid of this thing unless, again, it's my house or this, and then it's still going to be a debatable issue. I'm going to get out and shoot this thing this summer, make some good, nice videos on this, good, nice long-range videos, rather. And yeah, just can't say enough about this. So number 4 on our list is the Swedish M96 Mauser. Number 3 on the list is a Mosin Nagant 9130, and this is going to be specifically like an Arsenal refurbished model, or variant, whatever you want to call it, that you know, the ones that were $80 a few years ago, and now they're $350. So these are retailing for between $350 and unfortunately $450 for one in this condition. And it comes with a sling usually, hopefully. But anyway, the reason I say this is because ammo availability, it's produced commercially by several different companies, and you can get good hunting rounds for it, you can get plinking rounds. You can still get surplus once in a while, but it's getting tighter. Hopefully things resolve themselves in parts of the world and we can start getting cheap surplus ammo again. But although this isn't the best action, as I've talked about in several videos, it's a nice rifle. It's very rugged and durable, and if you're looking for a cheaper hunting rifle that's got similar ballistics to a 308, this is a fantastic piece of history. These were also used, you know, they're still being used in conflicts today, so nice piece of history. Even though they were cheap years ago, they are still, I don't think they're worth what they're asking for it and what people are paying for it, but that's my opinion. I mean, the market dictates the price. I do not. But yeah, a Mosin Nagant 9130. The carbines are going to be a little bit more expensive. They don't have the velocity or the distance that I like on a 9130. These are great rifles for just, it's basically just a workhorse. Nothing pretty about it. They work. You can get the actions to work pretty well, which I've also made videos on in the past. And they're not the most terrible rifle in the world. Mass-produced, good stuff. This one's a 1942 Izhevsk, and it's got the chatter marks on it and everything, but it still performs great. So yeah, these usually would be higher on the list, but the price is creeping up each and every year because of the lack of these, because of situations in Eastern Europe since 2014. So, number 3 on the list is the Mosin Nagant 9130. Number 2 on our list, coming in like Old Faithful every year consistently, is the Turkish Mauser, the 1938, or we'll just call it the 1933 to 38 variant, when they upgraded all their older rifles and such into this newer 7.92 by 57 millimeter with the new barrel and all that stuff. They utilized all the old actions that could take that cartridge, and I love these rifles so much. They are, most of the ones that I've had, actually all the ones that I've had are extremely accurate, even though the bores might be dark on them and they might be kind of rough. These things are fantastic. You get decent 8mm cartridges. I wouldn't recommend using the Turkish stuff. It's pretty hot and it kicks a lot, as you've probably heard from numerous gun channels. But this one happens to be a 1903 model that was upgraded to the 1933 variant. This is dated 1937. And yeah, I like the 1903 bolts because they're teardrop. Anyway, I'm getting into detail. So these things can be had from $200 to $450 depending on the condition, whatever. Usually I've been seeing them between $200 and $350. Now for an 8mm Mauser rifle, they're fantastic. Matt Lavoisier from Fudbusters was vehemently against getting one of these, so I talked him into getting one kind of on a dare at an auction a while back, and he went out and shot it, and he said, yeah, you were right, they're actually very good rifles. So, converted another one. Matt, if you're watching. Anyway, so yeah, these things are fantastic. They've been on my list every single year, and luckily they're still affordable. If you want a 98 action or similar this is not a 98 action, but the M38 rifles that were made in Turkey are 98 actions. And if you want something very similar to that fires the 8mm or 7.92 by 57mm, I know people, and you don't want to spend $900 for like a K98 or over $1,000 for a Gewehr 98, this is going to be your next best bet. Any kind of variant of this. I love these things, and I'm still glad they're affordable, because then people can get into milsurp and not have to break the bank and then still get the enjoyment out of it. And if you don't think these were used in conflicts ever, stay tuned on the channel, or if you've already watched my live streams, got some fun stuff about the Korean War that you might be interested in. So if you're into that and you're like, oh, I only want guns that were used in a conflict, well, just throwing that out there, these definitely were. So anyway, yeah, number 2 on our list is going to be the Turkish Model 33/38 upgraded Mauser rifles. Now, before we get to our number 1 choice, I want to do an honorable mention like I try to with most of these. This is going to be the Yugoslavian M24-47 rifle, chambered in 7.92 by 57mm. It's got the intermediate length Serbian M24 action, and these were upgraded in 1947 with a couple little details like the front sight hood and I forgot what else, but yeah, anyway, these things are one of the most common Mauser rifles on the market besides the M48, and they're fantastic shooters. They kick a little bit because they're a shorter rifle, but it's like a K98 basically. So if you want to get into these, are going for about $300 to $450, and that sucks because they used to be, again, like around $100 all day, every day, and nobody wanted them. But smooth actions, like most Yugo Mausers, and yeah, fantastically accurate, reliable, and just fun to own. These have a lot of history on their own accord. So yeah, these unfortunately are getting really pricey, as well as the M48s are getting even more pricey. But these are still around, available, and it's a really good alternative if you're just getting into the hobby and you want a Mauser rifle. That's pretty damn cool. So honorable mention. Our number 1 choice for 2022 most affordable military surplus rifles under $500 goes to the Haki. I'm just fucking with you. Number 1 for 2022 is going to be the Karkana Model 1891 Cavalry Carbine, or the Model 38, depending on what you can get. Most of these are going to be 1891s that were imported in 2020. So these are still available on the market, and again, this is probably one of the last big, if not one of the last ever, batches of surplus that we're going to be getting for quite some time in the foreseeable future, in my opinion, of course, not a fact. So these are around $200 to $250, and for a piece of history, like this one's dated 1894. So this is a very early Brescia, whatever. I don't speak Italian. You guys from Italy can be snobs and correct me. I want to hear you pronounce English words perfectly too. Haha. Anyway, had to get that little dig in there. But yeah, so this is from 1894, and it's fantastic. It still shoots great, and it's very accurate and whatnot. They're very lightweight. If you want a nice lightweight brush gun, fantastic. Again, the ammo availability sucks right now because a lot of these were imported in 2020. They are catching up. They're getting in stock, and then so are the M blocks that are required for these, 6-shot M blocks. So these have the, of course, I've made several videos on this. It's got the integral bayonet on there. This is the first type that kind of fell off a lot, so they upgraded it. But yeah, you can get these from several different places online that have them on the primary market. Sometimes they go on sale for $200, with shipping or whatever. If you have a CNR, these things are a no-brainer. That's why I've got a few of them, because they're fun. I enjoy collecting them. I offload the dates that I don't like, and I keep the ones that I do. It's very fun if you've got a couple extra bucks to play around with, but if you don't have a couple extra bucks, these are still a great option. Good brush guns, like I said, and they're also just a nice piece of history. These were used through, do I hear it? 2 world wars, plus used up until recently by the Italian police, that word I cannot pronounce, it starts with a C. I know, again, Italy, you'll be there, you'll represent and correct me in the comments for sure. But yeah, so these things are going to be number 1 still. They'll probably be number 1 until they're sold out, or unless the price keeps creeping up. So this is going to be the most affordable military surplus firearm in 2022. It was last year as well, if I'm not mistaken. And hopefully these are around for a little bit so more people can get involved with the hobby. And I know a lot of people, personal friends and just viewers and stuff like that, that have gotten one of these in the past couple of years and were like, hey, it's actually really cool. So don't believe all the stuff you hear about Carcano's being that dumb Italian piece of shit. Yeah, dumb shot Kennedy. I could make the shot, and I qualified expert marksman on an AR-15, which is the exact same platform as a bolt-action rifle. That kind of shit, to me, in my opinion, it doesn't fly. If you shot one of these, either the carbine or the long rifle, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're really cool. I like them a lot. Very small, very compact. Also, they pack a punch. So, those are the top 5 military surplus rifles under $500 in 2022 that I think would be good deals for new collectors or people that just want to expand their collection a little bit without breaking the bank. Obviously, the Hakim was a joke. That thing's over $1,000 now. I had to fork that over, even though I got one years ago for a lot less, but had to have one back in the collection. Glad I do. Unfortunately, most surplus is really getting to the point where it's just a collector's hobby, just like classic cars and many other things that were ruined by, I don't know, people like me, I guess, even though I want them to be affordable so more people can get into the hobby. But again, I'm chewing my cabbage 3 times on that one because I've already made several videos about that. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think. Obviously, these are my personal opinions. This isn't a fact, so, oh, no, this rifle, no, Arisaka Type 99 or whatever. No, this is just my opinion and what I've thought of this year and that I would recommend people who are getting into the hobby acquire. So, that being said, I know the comments are going to blow up. It'll be fun. But still, let me know what you think. I appreciate that. Now, if you want to support my work and you like seeing things like this and more guns and more helmets and more ballistic tests and things like that, and just general knowledge using props and stuff that I can teach you tangible history, consider becoming a Patreon supporter or a YouTube channel member. Those people sponsor my channel. As you might have noticed, I don't have any formal sponsors for a reason. I like to be sponsored by a reflection of the value of my work, and so far so good, but it's always great to have more people. So, $5 a month or more on either method of support gets into my Discord server, which a lot of people are on right now, and it's really fun. I learn a lot on there, so do other people, and it's a fun time. But on Patreon, you do have the advantage of getting exclusive podcasts released once in a while, so that's a fun little perk. I get a little bit more spicy on those topics. So, your choice. If you want to support me, but you can't do it financially, I totally understand that. Just make sure you let me know what you think in the comments. Like this video, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, and also share this video out. It's kind of a fun video. Unfortunately, I don't know how many more years I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to have to do under $1,000 pretty soon, and it's going to be relatively the same firearm. So anyway, I know I ramble a lot. If you guys are new to the channel, it's just how I roll. Sorry. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments as well. So that being said, I really appreciate everyone who supports my work, either financially or just watching and viewing, commenting. And I'm just so thankful for everybody. I got to 100,000 subscribers finally this year. Anyway, I will stop rambling now. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next video.